So I think that in 2024 we're now in the midst of a second running boom, or maybe on the brink of it, or maybe we're kind of right underway. I just wanted to chat about the reasons that I think we're in a new running boom, sort of go over what that means for running, the parallels between that original running boom in the 60s and 70s. I think the first reason that we're sort of in a running boom now is probably the most obvious one, and that's COVID. So COVID happened 2020, 2021 and 2022. Just any sort of team sport where there was loads of people getting involved just weren't possible, right? You just couldn't play them in the normal way that you might have. And so all of a sudden, I think a lot of athletic people and a lot of people who maybe had never ran before or ran once upon a time just thought, you know what, let's pick it back up. And I think that's really evident. I remember seeing people out running during COVID, and that was a really nice feeling, sort of the camaraderie of seeing loads of new faces on the road. And that was a period that was really positive for me for running. At the start of 2021, I set my half marathon PR of a 1:38, which I was super happy with at the time, and it was an amazing feeling. And that was one of my first races back, where it was a really low capacity race and there wasn't many people there was no spectators, but it was still a race, and that was a really great feeling. And I think those moments, like getting back into that half marathon after being alone for so long, sort of helped that transition out of COVID, where it had been a super singular thing, and then all of a sudden there was this gradual feeling of like, okay, you know, running's a community event. It's something that we've never had the same appreciation for in the past, you know, and so coming out of COVID, running meetups, stuff like that, after running alone or with people in your house, if you were lucky enough to have them, you were just so much more grateful for them. You know, I know that I was, anytime that I was running with other people, even if it was just a race or anything, it just felt so much better, sort of in the knowledge that actually we've just had a really hard time and we've been really alone. And so by proxy, you know, it's undoubtable, it's absolutely undoubtable that running is going up, and it's easy to say, oh, you know, you're running a lot, so you're seeing people running, and I'm sure there's a name for that. It's like a confirmation bias almost, but it's definitely not that, because if you look at the sign-up numbers for the London Marathon, I think in 2023 for 2024 they had something like 300,000 for the ballot, and then in 2024 they had 580,000 or something, and then this year, just a couple of weeks ago for the 2025 London Marathon, I think there was over 800,000 entries to the ballot. So if that doesn't tell you that, which was, each one of them was a record, and each one of them was looking at like 50% more than the last of entries, which is just insane. And you know, such a historic event as well, like the London, it's not like a small new growing marathon, which is absolutely insane. So another reason that I think sort of running is on this big boom at the moment is the internet, right? And it's what I'm doing now, which is talking about running. And I think that's an absolutely huge part of running right now. And it sort of goes in two sides, right? Because you've got personalities and these sort of Runfluencer people who are getting out there running, and actually people are following these runners just for personality, you know. It's nothing to do with like the highest paced athletes. It's the content creators that I watch, I just love their videos. I like their personalities. You know, they're the kind of people that I want to hang out with. And I think that the way sort of running has pivoted has really helped that. So it's not about like, oh, I'm going to watch, you know, someone like Jacob Ingebrigtsen, because he's one of the fastest runners in the world. It's that merge of fun and running, which I think has like really, really created this landscape where people want to run with creators. So people want to kind of go to the same races, they want to do the same things that creators are doing, go to running events, meetups, clubs, set PRs, and that's, you know, a self-fulfilling prophecy, or sort of an other fulfilling prophecy, because you're seeing people that you look up to, me included, and then, you know, smashing a PR at a marathon, and you're like, yeah, come on, I want to do that as well. I think that's a really cool, positive cycle of reinforcement. Second part in that online videos, content section is shoes, right? You know, I think really the cynical part of me wants to think that actually the brands have really caught up with people wanting shoes and the capitalist consumerist stylings of running shoes, and they've actually really been able to capitalize on the popularity of certain shoes, and all of a sudden it becomes this mixture where instead of just grabbing a pair of running shoes that were functional. Now it's about the foam, it's about the look, it's about the upper. And I'm guilty of that as someone who's a sucker for running shoes, and I think loads of people love running shoes as well. Because of that cool, like, oh, this is the new best thing, this is a new bounciest shoe, this is the new fastest shoe, this is the new snappiest shoe, this is the new most cushioned shoe, or whatever people might say. But I also think that's the technology, right? In running at the moment, and in running shoes, carbon plates have just materialized within the last 5 or 6 years. Max cushion shoes have sort of become a thing in a way that I don't think like the original Bondi ever was looking at becoming. These are like serious high stack shoes, and if you even just look at the stack height of a running shoe now and just watch a video of someone running on YouTube 10 years ago, it's crazy. If you look at these, and these aren't even the biggest thing going, and then you just go online and you'll see a video of someone running in like a 10 mil stack, and it was considered like a big bouncy running shoe, or even running marathons in them. And you look at the start line of a marathon this year and the start line of a marathon in 2014, wow, that's a proper big difference, and that's a lot more millimeters on feet. And so I think because that's evolved, people have been more interested in getting new shoes, seeing shoe reviews, and then going online, and then there's something else to come to running for that's not just running. You could watch a whole shoe review video of just someone sat in the chair talking about it, which I'm guilty of myself, and you're not there for any actual running or running tips. So it's opened up this whole new door to a whole new section of running, which again is fantastic. So I do think that the boom of running online is a positive thing. It's great. Another thing that I think has seen sort of running grow and start to come into this second boom, as I'm calling it, is zone 2 running. And again, this is one that I really like that it's happened, because it makes me not feel guilty about going on a run like I'm going on today, where I'm just literally soaking it up, and I'm running really slowly for my pace. I'm running 6-minute kilometers, and I'm taking it super easy, and I don't feel guilty about taking it so easy. I feel comfortable, I'm not out of breath, I'm not pushing myself, my heart rate's at like 130, 140, if that. I'm really in control, and that is going to be 4 of my runs in a week. And people don't want to work hard like crazy every day, especially when you're a hobby runner, which 99% of runners are. People don't want to be really pushing themselves and trying to set a new 5k PB each day. And so the idea that, actually, you're better off running in zone 2 most of the time, and the studies that have come out about that over the last 5 years or so, I think have really helped people get into running, because they understand that, okay, this is like a brisk walk. Sometimes it's going to feel like that level of effort if you're feeling on a good day. And it just helps control expectations for what you're looking for out of each run. And also, it means that you can sort of treat a run like you might a walk sometimes. Let's go and see a lovely place, and I'll just do a little zone 2 jog, for 10 or 15 kilometers or even less. But I'm not pushing myself at all, and I'm comfortable, and I'm enjoying the environment, and I'm enjoying like here, I'm sure you've seen in a lot of the B-roll, the absolutely beautiful woods and the beach and everything like that. So yeah, I think that really helps get people into that first stage of running, and also keep people, right? You've always got to get those zone 2 miles in to build that base up. So yeah, I think those are sort of some of the main parts of the running boom that's happened in 2024, and I hope that it continues, and I really, really hope that there continues to be this super positive culture around running that there is at the moment. It's undeniable. I do feel as a running as a hobby and as a environment for people to enjoy a sport is a super positive and friendly one right now. When I go to run clubs, I can't remember the last time I met someone that wasn't nice. Whereas I think in the past, when I ran at school or whatever, running did feel like this really overwhelming thing that you've got to tune up for, and your life revolves around it, and the fastest to the meanest almost. And it was more of this sort of unhealthy grind set kind of vibe. Whereas now it's like about health, it's about fun. And I think that Runfluencers, to make that counter argument, are really adding to that, because it's loads of people, myself included, and anyone who are running because they want to run, and it's nothing to do with speed, and speed doesn't matter. And I would say that right now speed only matters to you, and running has never felt like less of a race. you know, when you line up on that marathon start line, I'm not even thinking about other people. I want every single other person there to achieve a PR, no matter what. And it just feels like a team sport where every single person of the 30,000 people lining up on that big marathon start line are on the same team. So that's sort of my take on it all. I'm really glad that running's booming, and I want to see it boom more. And I hope to enjoy more great running stuff. I'll get you a review for these soon as well. Cool.